Friends, in this lecture we are going to see the custom clearance of export cargo. Okay, I have taken the help of the animations so that you will understand in a better way the export clearance, because it will have the practically be feeling that you are doing all the procedure himself, and you will have the practical feeling that you are visiting the CH office, you are visiting the factory, you are visiting the CFS, you are visiting the port. I have explained all the procedure in details. I have covered the containers of cargo and LCL cargo also, and all the terms which are used in the transport in logistic, all the terms has been used so for your better understanding. So friends, let's move to understand the custom clearance of export cargo. Friends, this lecture may be slightly bigger because I don't want to break the link. Okay, see, this is the head office of exporter. This is a factory or maybe warehouse of the exporter where he is manufacturing his goods for the export purpose. Okay, these are two different locations. Then another party involved in the export import transaction, that is called a CHA. This is his office, CHA office, where its staff sits. See, now three entities are involved here: the exporter, his factory, and CHA. Exporter has received the order. He manufactured the good quality goods and everything. He has done the pre-shipment inspection, everything that we assume that, because regarding the pre-shipment inspection and all these things, I already covered the topic in the details, why it has to be done, what is the purpose of it and everything. Now the goods are ready, and they may be packed on the pallets or maybe loose cargo in the boxes or any other forms, and the palletization is done and fumigation is already done, everything's done. Okay, the cargo is now ready to move for the export. Then what will factory will do? The factory will send a packing list. What is this packing list? Factory will send a packing list to head office, where in head office where the export department sits. All the corporate, it sits in the corporate office mostly. Then they will set the packing list to the HO, because in same factory there are goods moving to the local market, some moving to the export. They will send the packing list to the HO. That is a packing list in the rough format mostly. Then on the basis of the packing list, because HO export or in HO in export department, the export department is already having the export order copy and all the detailed regarding the export orders, everything is already with the HO. Therefore, on the basis of this packing list, the export staff, documentation staff will prepare the invoice, which will have all the details. I have already shared the copy of invoice to you. They will prepare the invoice. They will prepare the fair packing list. They are already having the export order copy, inspection report, pre-shipment inspection report. There are many declarations are required at the pre-shipment stage. That declaration they will prepare. There may be many type of declaration. If you are exporting under advance license, then advance license declaration, GR form, now it is a wave, the HDF form has been discontinued. You need to put the declaration on the shipping bill that I have already explained to. Export license copy, it may be manufacturer license copy or advance license copy, EPCG license copy, all this license copy. This will be available with the export documentation staff. Okay, once these are documents and ready, they will send to the CHA. To whom they will send? To CHA. CHA is a clearing forwarding agent who take care of clearance of goods and shipping of cargo. He will prepare the checklist. What is the checklist? Checklist is a pre-form of shipping bill. They have the software that is a link to the IceGate of custom system, EDS system. They will fill all the details in the checklist. I already shared the checklist with you, what comes and what not, what detail to be fed in checklist. They will prepare the checklist and they will send the checklist back to the export office. Exporter. Exporter has to check all the detail of checklist. Please ensure once checklist is finalized, amendment will not be allowed in shipping bill because it generates the shipping bill and that is will be final shipping bill. There will not be any amendment. Therefore, checklist to be checked thoroughly before saying OK to the CHA. Then checklist is prepared by CHA, sent to the export executive export officer to exporter. Exporter will check everything is okay. He will come say checklist is okay. Checklist is a form of shipping bill at first stage. And this checklist is prepared on the basis of type of shipping bill. Exporter has to give the detail which type of shipping bill to be filed with the custom to the CHA. There are types of shipping bill: free, where there is no incentives, will be claimed by exporter on the exported goods. The second, dutiable shipping bill, in which the duty is imposed on the export product. There are hardly product on which export duty is payable, just like spices and all these things. Drawback shipping bill, where you exporter is claiming the drawback, in which he has to declare the drawback serial number of this product, the percentage he has claimed. Once he select the drawback serial number, the percentage will automatically appear on the shipping bill checklist. Ex-bond shipping bill means they are exporting and it will be re-imported. Sorry, they are imported earlier and these are going to be export, means export shipping bill. DEC shipping bill means you are exporting under advance license, means raw material you are imported, the raw material required for the export product that we have imported under advance license and you have to fulfill your export obligation. That's why DEC shipping bill is filed. Now you have to instruct the CHA which type of shipping bill you have to file, because CHA will not know which raw material you have used and how much incentives you are going to claim. You have to advise the CHA which type of shipping bill to be filed. Accordingly, he will file the checklist and he will send for your checking. Once the shipping bill is filed and shipping bill is okay, this process will go on. Meanwhile, CHA or forwarding agent will approach to the shipping line. To approach to the shipping line, now CHA know that how much cargo is there, what type of container is required, and therefore he will book the cargo with the shipping company, and he will be this activity can be done 4 or 5 days earlier also, because DO is valid for 3 to 5 days depending on the shipping company. Okay, this thing, because when exporter hand over the cargo to the CHA and for shipping, he want to know how much freight is applicable to that cargo. He may circulate that inquiry in the market. He may get 3-4 quotations from the shipping company, and when he float the inquiry, he know who has quoted the base rate. Accordingly, he choose the CHA or shipping line. Here, the shipping line may be different. Exporter may directly contact with the shipping lines and he can get the rates from the shipping lines. Either way, this way, see, he can directly contact with the shipping line and get the better rate and instruct CHA to take the delivery order from the shipping line. Otherwise, CHA may contact shipping line and get base rate and inform exporter this is the rate. Now the checklist is finalized, everything is finalized, and he approached to the shipping company for cargo booking. He asks for the delivery order for the cargo. He gives all the details, CHA, the loading port, discharge port, okay, how much quantity is there, and he takes the delivery. He takes the freight charges from shipping company, any other charges he takes from the shipping company, and transit times he takes from the shipping company. Accordingly, he informed to the exporter. Here he takes the delivery order from the shipping. Delivery orders means what? Delivery order is to take the delivery of the empty container. Then once he got CHA got the delivery order, this is a delivery order. DO is called DO. Okay, this DO is valid for 3 days, 5 days, depending on the shipping companies. Then he gives the delivery order to his transporter. Okay, the transporter send the vehicle to this empty yard. Okay, this empty yard will pick up the container from the yard. It may be 20 feet container, it may be 40 feet container, or it may be 40 feet high Q component container or open top. This depend on the what commodity they are exporting. Maybe refrigerator container. There are many types of containers are there. Okay, so he take the delivery order, because before taking the delivery order he has to declare which type of container is required. In the delivery order, the exporter names, CHA names, type of inventory means type of container is required. Everything is mentioned. He goes to the delivery order transporter. He pick up the container and the container sent to the factory for the stuffing. Okay, sent for the factory because cargo is lying at the factory. The empty container goes to the factory for the stuffing. Please remember, you are not supposed to stuff container in the factory unless and until you have the valid factory stuffing permission. What is the factory stuffing permission? When you are stuffing the container into your factory, you need to have valid permission from the custom authorities. Okay, for that you have to apply in advance to the custom authority. I am the regular exporter. I am dealing so and so products. I need the factory stuffing permission for my cargo in my factory. Okay, so you should have the valid factory stuffing permission, and if you don't have factory stuffing, you cannot take the container and you cannot stuff the cargo at your factory. Please remember, you should have the factory stuffing permission valid from the customs. Once the container come to the factory, okay, the factory makes tax invoice as per the GST invoice, and everything they make check, gate pass, everything make in the factory, and the container comes with one seal, that is a shipping line seal. When container is stuffed into factory, there is a seal, bottle seal it is called, which cannot be tempered, which cannot be break. If it is a break, then it breaks in two pieces. That seal cannot be used in next time. That seal comes along with the container, that has to be affixed on the container door. There is one more seal, that is a called RFID seal, which has the chip, and it's continuously recording the movement of the container, movement of the cargo from factory to port, port to up to ship, from ship to it is unloaded at different port. Means continually it is record the movement of the cargo. And who is to issue the RFID seal? There are certain agencies which are appointed by customs. They are given the authority. You have to approach these companies, and you have to procure this RFID seal in advance. If you are stuffing the container around 30 container per month, then you should keep the stock of 30 RFID seal in your factory, so that at certain point, if the container comes and you don't have RFID, then it will be problem, because to come to RFID it takes around 2 to 4 days from the agency. Therefore, you have to keep the RFID seal in your factory. And RFID seals agency will provide one software to you. In that software, you have to feed the data, their shipping bill number, shipping bill date, when the cargo stop, everything, cargo details and everything, that automatically go to the RFID seal in which chip is there. Okay, this way the both seal has to be affixed before container move from the factory. Now the container is moving from the factory. The head of the exporter has already given the document to the CHA. These are list of documents given to CHA. These are list of documents given to CHA. Okay. He had another document is a shipping bill. Invoice, packing list, export order, inspection agency declaration, export license and shipping bill. Because this checklist is now finalized into shipping bill. It has the name, it has a number and date and everything. This person will carry all this document to container CFS, is a container freight station near to the port. CFS, this is a CFS. Okay, he will carry all the document along with it. He may also carry the samples of the product which may exporter may custom officer may demand to see how its product look and what is its content. Therefore, he will carry all these documents along with him. That is the pre-shipment documents. We already learned what is the pre-shipment document. It is take it to CFS. That is a container freight station. It is a control under control of customs, where custom officer sits appraiser, examiner, superintendent, assistant commissioner, and sometimes deputy commissioner sits here in certain CFS. Otherwise, there is a separate office for custom people, custom staff. Okay, the higher people sits in the different office. This cargo comes to the CFS. This person, CHA boy carry all these documents to the CFS. Then port is adjacent to the CFS. See, it is not always maybe this scenario port, because there are inland CFS also. If your cargo moving from Delhi, for example, Delhi doesn't have any port, seaport, then there are inland CFS are there, that is called ICDs. ICD do same work as a CFS. Okay, remember ICDs, where all these custom clearance and everything are done in CFS. Here he bring all the document to the CFS, where actual custom clearance is done. Okay, so meanwhile the container is already moving to our CFS. There are two ways it can come to the CFS, okay, or it can go direct to the port. Okay, I will explain the both method to you shortly. But please remember, container is moved to the export office boy has come to CFS. He will submit all the document to the appraiser. It is a factory step container. The examination will not be there. Appraiser will assess all the documents. He will check the valuation of the cargo. See the custom point of view, all the points, everything is mentioned on the documentations. He may ask the export order, check the unit rate and everything is properly mentioned, and there is no overvaluation of cargo or undervaluation of cargo. The appraiser superintendent will check. Then he will pass this document to the higher authority, assistant commissioner of custom. Then the document will move. See this system will work on the EDI system, electronic data exchange. Means once the appraiser or examiner superintendent pass the document, it will automatically go to the assistant commissioner by through the computer only. Okay, the assistant commissioner also look into the angle of the custom documents and everything. If there is any query, they will raise the query and they will send back to the CHA. CHT has to the reply to the query raised by the custom officer. If he is not able to understand the query, he take the help of the exporter. If it is a technical things regarding the product and everything, because CFS is not a technical thing. He know only the custom procedure. Regarding the product technical things, anything raised by custom officer, then exporter has to reply to the custom officer. Once custom officer is satisfied, then he will put LEO, let export order. Okay. Then custom format is this. It is the meaning of that the custom format is completed and the next format is of shipping company will start. This port is adjacent to the mostly adjacent to the CFS. Okay, where once the custom format is completed, if container is placed here in CFS, it will move to a port before vessel come. Okay, this is C where ships are waiting to upload the cargo. The cargo will be uploaded here. इनके ऊपर कार्गो अपलोड किया जाता है. Okay, the container comes 2 or 3 days here before the vessel take berth. सब कंटेनर यहाँ लाए नहीं जाते. In this area, it had certain limitations. Please remember, if you put all the, because at a time there are 3-4 shipping lines take the berths. In JNPT there are 3-4 berths are there. JNPT, ICD and all these things. Maersk lines, different port is there. There are terminals are there. The 3-4 vessel takes berth in simultaneously. Therefore, to bring the cargo of 10-15 container, you will not have space here. यहाँ जगह नहीं रहते. तो कंटेनर आने से पहले 2 दिन पहले शिप कंटेनर्स यहाँ लाए जाते नहीं तो वो CFS में इधर पड़े रहते. Okay, then cargo will move to the port before vessel take berth. वेसल का बर्थ होने से पहले उसको इधर लाया जाता है. Now let's understand the direct port delivery. I told you once the container stop from factory, it will directly come to the CFS. Okay, it will be put here. The boy will bring, CHA boy will bring all the document here in CFS, where all the exporter, all the custom officers are sitting here. The custom formalities will be completed here. Still the container will lie here. It will be placed here. Okay, and see there are many CFS near to the port. Around 40-50 CFS are there. There are private CFSs also there for the shipping line. All Cargo, Maersk Line, they having their own CFS. So the cargo will move here in the CFS. Okay, but to reduce the transaction cost, reduce the transaction time, there is a system is called direct port delivery. This is called a direct port delivery. It is issued before LEO, late export order. Previously what we have seen, it comes to the CFS, custom format is completed, then container move from CFS to port, right? One means once LEO is given, late export order given by custom officer, the container move to the port. But In direct export, direct port delivery, the container move from factory, it doesn't go into CFS, it directly come to the port. Okay, before LEO, late export order. But this facility is not allowed for every exporter. Okay, this is allowed to AEO, authorized economic operator, who was registered with the authorized economic operator. Status holder means the exporter have 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star status is there. Means their turnover goes up. They are issued the different status, and accordingly the status holder, if they are status holder, they can take the container directly to the port. Okay, or self-sealing container. If you have the factory stuffing permission, self-sealing permission, you can take container directly to the port. It is a and this port is everything is open 24 by 7, right? Therefore, cargo will move to the port to save your time, because it will go to the CFS. It will go to the CFS. Then port. It takes time because it is lying. It will lie here for 3 4 days. Then it will move to the port. It will take time. It will go to direct to the port. Okay. So it's help in the reduction of cost. Okay. And difference in TSC, trade handling charges, because trade handling charges are charged by shipping company. Certain portion passes to the CFS, because the container comes in CFS, it is unloaded as CFS. Once again it is loaded as CFS. The loose cargo comes in the CFS, then it is stuffed into factory container. All these charges are included. Means cargo handling charges are included in TSC. These are charged by shipping company, and it is passes to the CFS. Okay, so there is a lot difference in TSC. Okay, these are facility for the direct port delivery. Okay, see, this is a shipping company office. Okay, this is a shipping company office. See, shipping company having office in city. This will be city office, right? And in CFS, every CFS or every port, there is a shipping company office, operation office. This is a shipping company office. Okay. Once you complete all the formalities at CFS, once LEO is given, you have to hand over Form 13. It is called Form 13 to the shipping company office. This Form 13 is handover. Then shipping company will understand the exporter has completed all the export formalities, and they will plan the cargo on upcoming vessel. Now the shipping company's responsibility starts from here. Once you hand over Form 13 to the shipping company, means they will coordinate with CFS, and they will request CFS to move the container to the port. If it is a container is already in the port in, okay, then they will load on the shipping on the upcoming vessel. Everything will be done by shipping company. Therefore, Form 13 play very important role. It is a proof that CH has hand over the cargo to the shipping company, and shipping company, the further movement will be done by shipping company. See, there are two things you have to remember: dock cutoff and gate cutoff. See, when every vessel takes berth, because when the cargo under clearance or taking the delivery order, see, taking at the delivery order, it is planned that this container will load on particular vessel, because every company has the scheduled vessel berthing. They know when the vessel will come, when it will take the berth, when it will be loaded, and when it will be sailed from the port. So on the delivery order, the itself given the vessel name and voyage number. Therefore, every planning is done. They know the vessel will take berth and so time, so and so date at this port, and it will be remain for 2 or 3 days at this port. Accordingly, every planning is done. So they define the doc cutoff. Document cutoff means exporter has to hand over documents to the shipping company 3 days in advance. Depend on shipping company. The average is 3 days, 3 to 4 days. Document cutoff is there because they need times. The form 13 means you have to hand over cargo the 3 days advance or 2 days in advance to the shipping company, so that they will move to the port. They will take cargo this to this port, and so that their planning will not be disturbed. After this on the document cutoff, there is a date and there is a time. After this time, they will not take the document. If the practically possible, they may extend with a certain fees. They will charge certain fees to the exporter, and they will take the document so that cargo should be loaded on that particular vessel. If we miss that documentation cutoff, the cargo will not be loaded on that particular vessel. Please remember, this is called a document cutoff. And another is gate cutoff. Same way, when the vessel berth, take berth at terminal, before that gate is open here. Here there is a gate. Sorry. Here is a gate. This gate is the most of it is a close and it is open to the container movement as per the vessel schedule. Mean they will not take the all container inside because it has limitations of space, right? They will take the container whose vessel is taking berth in 2 or 4 days. Within 2 or 4 days means upcoming vessels containers will be allowed. में जिसका vessel 2 या 4 दिन में लगने वाला है पोर्ट पे, उनके ही कंटेनर लिए जाते हैं अंदर पोर्ट में, right? So the gate is open 3 or 4 days in advance. If your vessel is taking berth after 10 days, then gate will not be open. So therefore you have to see before taking this container to the port, you have to check gate is open or not. Gate is open for that particular vessel. Gate is always open, but it is not open for every vessel. It is open for those vessel which is taking berth within 2 or 3 days. Okay. Therefore you have to check this gate is open for particular vessel or not. Otherwise your container will, the cargo will go here, then once again it will back here, and it will be put in the CFS. It is a double work. Okay. Therefore you have to check, you have to understand these two terms. Okay. See, now we have seen the almost the way of practicality of custom clearance of container. See, you may have export order and quantity which may not be big, so that you can use the container, right? Then what you do? See, definitely you are not going to pay for full container, and you will not use the full container when your cargo is 1 for 40%, 60%. Definitely you will not use the container because container cost is high. Then cargo is small, less than container. It is called a LCL. Okay, this is called LCL. When cargo is less than container, then what you do? You do move the cargo to the CFS. In CFS, when the loose cargo comes, the CFS place is divided between many shipping companies. There are many shipping companies. Place is allotted here in CFS. Say before you move the cargo, you take the rates from shipping company. If the rate is okay, then you move to the cargo to the CFS. When cargo will come to the CFS, and same all this procedure is done, the custom procedure, everything. You hand over this loose cargo to the shipping company. This form 13 hand over to the shipping company which is having the office in port. Then shipping company will stuff the container in CFS. Here they will bring the cargo of 4-5. Suppose you are exporting the cargo to the Ho Chi Minh City, Mauritius. Sorry, Port Louis, Mauritius, and there are 4-5 exporter already exporting to the Mauritius, Port Louis. Then shipping company will have the cargo of 4 exporter. They will combine this cargo with they will stuff this cargo into one container, right? And they will stop. They will seal here in CFS. Then this container will move to the port. This way, the LCL custom clearance is done. Okay. Now you understood the how the custom clearance and movement of cargo is done from LCL to FCL. See, I have given the animated way so that you will understand in the practical way. Okay.